Andrew Noack.
I'm Seth Fisher.
I am Holly Gorduke.
Marion McCord.
My name is Amen.
Hi, I'm Ace.
I'm Joe. I'm a human being.
Hello, my name is Alberto Maneri.
I'm Sophia Vachon.
Hi, I'm Max Keller.
Hello, my name is Blake Neva.
We found the church through one of the boys' music teachers, in fact. And she gave us the address, and we went in, and we're so welcomed by the people, and so impressed by the minister, Reverend Rob, that we knew we weren't going to go anywhere. We used to joke that part of the reason why we started going to church was for the free babysitting, but it turned into so much more than that. So we'd already been really involved in the church by the time I was asked to be on the board. And I remember Jenny Dengler calling me and saying, would you consider serving on the board? And I said, I'll think about it. And I thought about it and said, sure. And so I began a 4-year term on the board. And that was one of the best periods of my life, really, just in terms of personal development and leadership, and really getting into the nuts and bolts of not only the operational stuff, but kind of the big picture visionary mission stuff. The first Sunday that I remarked about earlier, we came, and after the church service, we went to Dodd Hall, and Reverend Rob had a dog named Linus, who was a fixture in the church. He was a fast-moving fixture in the church. And that dog was always snatching muffins out of people's hands. He was a super cute dog, but it was it just went to sort of, I don't know, Linus sort of embodied the spirit of the place, not the stealing, but the rest of it, the exuberance, the socialization, the kind of sense of people running around. And
He was a very tall gentleman. I cannot remember his name. And he was alone.
So he came to us and he put the pizza down. I remember you looked at me like, is this okay? Is this kosher? Is it risen bread? And
yeah,
it was pepperoni on the pizza.
It was pepperoni pizza and risen crust and soda in a plastic container. And
we're not trying to be kosher. We're trying to be inclusive. And this is a place for people to experience.
Exactly.
Pretty flat as it is. And
the pizza got gone. The pizza got eaten. The kids loved it.
And I love that he sat closest to the exit door, not intentionally. So when we were singing to Elijah the prophet, I was like, oh my gosh, this man is Elijah the prophet.
It really was. It was the embodiment of the spirit of opening the door for Elijah, because here was somebody who was lonely and was not sure what to bring, but brought something to share, and was there that one time and then wasn't there ever again.
Sue Henshaw really talked a lot about our children being welcomed, being part of our community, and not being shushed. And so there's no shushing of children in our church. And I loved that. And it was Rev Bob decided that he and his young family were going to leave us. And I remember we started that whole process of an interim minister for 2 years and the search committee. It would be, I think, 7 people, and they would spend, the almost 2 years going through this very, very intense process of figuring out who the next minister, who our next called minister would be. And I remember sitting in my pew thinking, oh Lord, I wonder who those poor people are going to be. and then I seriously did. I was like, oh man, that sounds like an enormous amount of work. And then Becky Emborg called me and asked me if I would do it. And no one ever says no to Becky, because she's so brilliant and she's a wonderful example of service. And I really did feel a calling that it was the right thing for me to say yes to. And so I did. And I worked on the search committee, and with 6 other people, we found Rev Seth. It was a 100% vote to call Seth. And that was, I think that was such an amazing experience.
We used to have the auctions in the Old Stone Church.
and the auctioneer would stand at the pulpit and do their auctioneering from the pulpit, and we would have, I mean, it's so funny to think about how things have changed. But anyway, we were sitting in one of the pews for the auction, and we had a couple friends randomly, there, whatever, but we happened to be sitting with this couple that we didn't know at all. Really nice people, but we didn't really know them at all. And so my husband, who's very chatty, he talks to everybody, he loves talking, he struck up a conversation with them. And the next thing I know, we're bidding on a vacation getaway to the Denlingers, New Hampshire home with this family that we didn't even know. And I was like elbowing him, like, what are you doing? You're crazy. We can't go on vacation with these people that we don't even know. So it was just us and the Wilsons, and we got to be absolute best friends with them. It's just so funny to me that these friends are so dear to us. And if it wasn't for the auction, you have to take risks, right? Even if it's within the community, you have to take risks. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to know that it's safe. It's a safe place to be able to do that. So
the thing about the community in all of this is seeing the way that people are really, really connected and invested. The city, there are people everywhere all the time, and you can know almost no one. But here, I'll run into people on the street, and everybody's connected in some way. And people, not only that, but people are really invested. So in our fellowship, when we need an attorney or a farmer or an architect or a financial planner or an engineer, like all of these people are connected, and they give their time, and not even just specialists doing this stuff, but people who just show up, people who will drop a meal on somebody's porch. And our first service every year, the Blue Jean Sunday, where we come back and people show up and clean and weed the garden and clean the sanctuary and show up and really put this sweat equity in. So there was this real sense of community that was something that I'd always envisioned and hoped for, and I was really seeing it. It's a really, really beautiful thing what our community is and how they connect.
My story about coming to 100 UU or Fufik was that we lived in the area, my husband and I, for many years. One day, I believe it was 2016 Sunday, which was Valentine's Day, I got up and I said to Frank, come on, get dressed, we're going. Because where we're going, you'll find out when we get there. And we got here, we walked in. I did not know what to expect. I've always considered myself like a spiritual nomad. I've dabbled in all kinds of different things. And I was just wanting to see what this place was all about. And it turns out that the sermon that day was about Charles Darwin. And of course, I said, I think I found my people.
So the original Christmas parties, I set it up so that we would have food and drink, singing, poetry and reading and singing. And then at the end of it, we'd light the figgy pudding and bring it in and share it out, and people would pretty much depart. So I would buy my figgy pudding smaller, and that makes it easier because a lot of people don't really like the taste of figgy pudding anymore. So what you're supposed to do is steam it to serve it, steam it, invert it, turn it on a plate, and then you pour more cognac, you pour a lot of cognac over the top of it and light it and bring it into your group. And then they sing, good, wish you Merry Christmas, there we are.
But if we can tell each other stories and not attempt to threaten or force or destroy, then these stories help us to live with each other in peace.
I'm Juliana, and my favorite memory was when we did the Easter egg hunt because it was so fun and I really liked it because we found chocolate.
One of my favorite memories is when we did the Easter egg hunt. I feel like it was so much fun when we bonded together with all the kids. It was really fun. Well, I think because I know a lot of the people at the church love to see the youth having fun. So I feel like that was happy for everyone and us.
A special memory, I think, was it wasn't necessarily here, but it was one of the events that this church put on where during the fall auction, I was hanging out with the other two people I work with, Max Keller and Holly, and we just went outside, we just hung out together and just had a really good time. It was just really great that this church connected all of us together. This church is bringing people together, literally bringing people together and making these relationships. I'm really happy to be here every Sunday.
Definitely some of the auctions, the winter auctions, it's always a good bonding experience. Even when I was little, we would always just hang out with all the other kids. It was so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah. The nicest kids I ever meet are in Unitarian Universalism because we're just brought up to be that way, not judgmental of anything. Just building that community more through these kind of events like the auction. And spending time together outside of church, it makes everyone even more closer than we already are here. We're already pretty close as it is.
Yay! And what is your favorite memory of being at the church?
When I first met the Squishmallow. Squish.
And why is that special to you?
Because he's very soft and I get to cuddle with him.
Okay, so when you got your Squishmallow, that's when you were coming here? Nice, and it brings you comfort. And why do you think that this is something that's important to the church? Why would this be special to Hunter and UU?
Because if somebody's sad or alone, they could snuggle with a Squishmallow.
Okay, great.
Well, a lot of churches, at least, they aren't accepting of all religions or sexualities and stuff. And since I don't go by the stereotypical pronouns and I don't dress how you would stereotypically act, or I'm not stereotypical, in places like this, I just really feel more comfortable and more safe here.
Oh, nice.
I brag to all my friends oh, my church was in the Pride Parade. Was yours?